All right, so um, I mean that right there is just the reason why I'm even making this video to begin with right now. I mean, this magic carpet is the best magic carpet I've ever had. I bought an XR used about 2 months ago, 3 months ago now, 2 months ago, and I've got about it was used with 68 miles on it, and I've got almost 1,400 on it now. So I think if a conservative estimate is I put 1,300 miles on it myself in 2 months, or 3 months, which I'm sure many people have put far more. I know the leaderboards are crazy, but I've put a substantial amount of miles on for somebody who just buys a one wheel, I would say. I mean, I'm a teacher. This is my summer break, so this is what I have chosen to do with my time. Um, and I love it. I mean, I'm 1,300 miles into this journey, and it's by far the best purchase I've ever made, ever. I mean, magic carpet is the best way to describe it. It's literally like a magic carpet. You look somewhere and you go there. You look somewhere else and you go there. You want to slow down, you just push the magic carpet back and it slows down. I mean, it's amazing. It's like the closest thing to teleporting without a teleporter. It's the most effortless and synchronistic way to move around a place. The whole reason why I'm making this video is it's really a larger situation with future motion, and I think the more people who want to bring their voices to the forefront, um, the more the more known the issue will become, and the more that will change about it in the future. So, like I said, I bought this XR used 2 months ago, and I loved it so much at about 1,200 miles, 1,150. I went ahead and took the leap and financed a GT from Future Motion against what most of my peers, as well as the online community, was telling me to do. The board arrived damaged to my apartment, both in the box it came in as well as the board itself. So the board itself was scratched in terms of its paint, as well as the box was crumpled. So I had the shipper make a note of the damage. I called Future Motion to discuss it with them. They were not at all taken back that the box had been crumpled. I guess that's just par for the course, according to them, which I don't see how that's okay either. And they weren't that taken back that my board was scratched, even though I had chosen to finance this and pay for it out of the little money that I do make a year. After asking them what they could do to fix the issue with my board being damaged, they said they could have it back there to inspect it, which would take 3 weeks' time to send it back for a scratch in the paint. Or I finally came up with the idea of them copping me a set of rail guards, which I don't really want anyway because the adhesive on the back of those things is disgusting to begin with. I went ahead and started to ride the board. The rail guards they had sent me with my bundle were damaged as well, so they were sending me a new set of those too. But I just put the old ones on there, and or the ones that were damaged, and rode those until the other ones came in. They just had a bottom plastic piece that was heat formed that had snapped off, I guess, in shipping. And when I received the other replacements, they were foam wrapped. So it does seem as though Future Motion has changed their shipping practices. All of these things really started to become glaringly noticeable. All of them developed within the first 150 miles. The powder coating on the rails was chipping as soon as I chose to disassemble the board. So not out of my assembly processes or methods. It just literally, the paint just started chipping off when I took the axle bolts off. Then, on top of that, the bearings completely went bad at 150 miles. And this is not the first thing I've heard of it. So future motion repairs, I don't trust them. I really don't trust them after watching what I've seen on YouTube, as well as experiencing now what I have, having purchased a GT. I asked Future Motion to comp me the price of 1 month's time with my board because they chose to send me a defective product, and now I'm not riding it for 3 weeks, and I'm riding my XR with 1,300 miles on it, which I love so much that I don't want to be in a situation where I don't have a board to ride. Which is one of the reasons why I financed the GT, because I was like, I'd like to have a second board. I'd like to see what this world is like with this extra power, with a warranted, product, or a product that is a company that wants to stand behind it. But what I didn't realize when I purchased that product is that the company doesn't want to stand behind their product. The company just wants to sell another one of them to somebody else, and they don't want to warranty the product, and they don't really want to fix the things that are wrong with it in a really reputable way. They just want to fix the things that are wrong with it in the way that they deem acceptable, or they want to understate the actual issues that are going on with the product. So I didn't have any ghosting, but I did have overheating with the device. Not to the point where it Captain Morgan me, but to the point where it was uncomfortable to hold the device in my hand or ride. I felt like I had a heating pad under my back foot, practically. And then on top of it, because the heat was so severe, just due to normal use of the board, the front grip tape in the foot pad peeled up. It was exposed to the dust of the trail and then wouldn't reseat back down onto the plastic. So, and on top of this, when I called Future Motion to discuss all of these problems, not the base level customer service associate, but the supervisor associate, the last level that you actually get to speak with, they were very undermining of the actual issues. He was very refusing to replace the front foot pad free of charge, no problems asked. It seems as though there's just, as you go up in the company in terms of hierarchy, they don't get more understanding in terms of the problems that are there. They just become more defensive as a company, which doesn't make any sense to me. It's like I'm talking to a supervisor because I have a larger issue here that I want handled properly and with care. And it seems like when you get a supervisor, it's just a further level of screening as to figure out how they can avoid their warranty. For example, I took the tire off my device because I'm 125 pounds. I'm a featherweight, and the durometer of the treaded tire on the GT is so ridiculously hard that it doesn't bend under your feet when you turn or when you shift your weight when you're my weight. So I said, okay, well, what if I soften the rubber compound that's on the outside of the tire? So I took some clamps, some basic squeeze wood clamps, and I put them around the outside of the tire, deflated it first, and handled all the processes correctly, went ahead and squeezed all the way around the tire to massage the rubber to soften the compound, and then reseated both of the beads, right, and then reassembled my board. And in this process, I noticed the powder coating was chipping, the whole 9 yards. And this was right about 75 miles. At 150 miles, I noticed the bearing started to make an awful, awful squeak. The representative, not the initial representative, the supervisor, decided to tell me that the reason why my bearings had gone bad was because I didn't properly reseat the bead on my tire, I didn't properly open the device properly, or I didn't do what I did properly on the device. I tightened all 4 of the lug bolts in a counter fashion, where I hand tightened them first and then went around and tightened each one individually opposite each other to the proper tension with my tension wrench. Hardly anybody would use an actual tensioner on those things. They would just tighten it by hand as hard as they can. But I used a tension wrench. So, Lois Grossman points out, it's like the people who are most qualified to fix the device that you're purchasing that's going to carry you on one wheel are not the people who make it. And it's so foreign to somebody who exists in this customer society to choose that option, to go ahead and say yes, I'm going to invest in this company because they're going to stand behind the product and they're going to make sure that if it breaks, that it's going to get fixed, or if it it falters in some kind of way, at least there's somebody to go talk to about it. Well, no, there's not really somebody to go talk to about it. And actually, frankly, you're better off just buying an XR platform, or better off yet, buying a set of rails from the Float Life. Shout out to the Float Life for sure. and just build yourself a VESC. I mean, like, I've heard so many great things about VESC now. It's got to be amazing. Like, the 2400 and go build the most amazing VESC I can possibly build. Because this XR platform is so much fun in so many different ways. It wants to slide under your feet in the most amazing of ways. You can throw it around in the most amazing of ways. It's not this heavy boat. It just feels unmaneuverable. It's not to say that GT isn't amazing. GT is a beast, and the extra weight does help with certain things in certain circumstances. But it's a totally different ride. All in all, Onewheels are amazing. It's absolutely the best invention of this century, in terms of my opinion. However, make sure that you do your research before you purchase the one that you want to purchase, because there's a lot of really great options out there, and with a whole bunch of used XRs currently on the marketplace, it may be a better option to just spend the cash, buy another used XR, than it is to finance a GT. And this was the decision I was wrestling with prior to making my financing decision, and part of me thinks I should have just went a different way. So Future Motion, if you ever see this video, I really hope that you can amend the business practices that you have with your customers and your constituents, because this is absolutely obscene. I mean, people are paying $2,200 for a device that, and then that's on the minimum side, right? That's not including tax, or let's say you got to buy some accessories for it from you all, right? Because it voids my warranty to use any other third-party accessories, except for when your, CEO is telling us that we can actually do tire changes ourselves. So why does it matter if you put your tire on or somebody else's tire on at the end of the day? Go ahead and just change the rim size to 6.5, just because, like, that makes it easier for you, right? It makes it easier for you to just monopolize on the tire sales for the 10 months or 12 months it takes third-party manufacturers to finally put something out. Like, I got news for you, like Future Motion. I have no interest to ever buy any accessories from you ever again for my boards once they get out of the warranty period. And actually, if anything ever goes wrong within the warranty period and I've chosen to have third-party accessories on my board, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take them off, and I'm going to put my accessory or your accessories back on the board, completely change it back over to stock, send it back to you so you have no idea that there's any difference, and then you can warranty my device. Because, like, I'm just like it's, and to be honest, like, I don't even want to do that. I don't trust you to warranty my device. I'd rather, even on GT, unless something goes bad with the battery, just fix it myself. Like, if the bearings go bad again, I'm just going to fix it myself. If there's something that happens with the motor, like maybe I'll send it back to you if it's under warranty, but I think I'm probably going to end up just finding a motor online and putting it in, or just GTRing or GTPing, because GTP is an amazing platform, I've heard, and, like, that's really honestly the only reason to own a GT right now, if you're going to buy one, is to eventually transition into a GTR or a GTP. So, yeah, do your research before you end up buying a board, for sure. But the other part of this video, and reason the origin of why I made it, is buy a Onewheel or buy a VESC. Buy the device that carries you on one wheel like a Segway and feels like snowboarding, or feels like a magic carpet, or feels like a teleporter, whatever you'd want to describe it as. But understand what you buy. So anyway, hope this helps everybody out there making decisions and figuring out what they're going to do. Take care, and keep riding those magic carpets, man.